Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Sam here with another video, and in today's video I am planning the week of November 6th through the 12th in my MakseLife Planner. For this week I am using, and I'll show more of it in a minute, but these are the two stickers sheets that I'll be using on this page. I am using the Christian Designs Celebration Collection Happy Birthday kit from 2023. I decided to use this kit this week because it is my daughter's birthday, and so I thought it'd be super fun to use this kit. Plus these colors just scream my daughter. For first I am going to set up this page right here, this dot grid page. Usually it's meant for like reflection and whatnot, but I'm going to use it as a memory page for the week to capture everything from my daughter's birthday. And I'll talk more about that as we progress in the video, but I thought it would be fun to set this up first this week. And you know what? I'm just going to, I don't know if I should white it out or just ignore it. Maybe I'll do it down here and then pictures can cover it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I always get questions about the Celebrations collection and like what stickers are included in the actual like Celebrations collection and the binder and what are not. So this page, this washi sheet that I'm using, and this huge deco page are not included. The only page that you get in the collection for like the holidays, like the birthday, is this page right here, and it's called the sampler page. So you get full boxes, some half boxes, some quarter boxes, 2 strips of washi, and then some deco and a weekend sticker. And the whole idea behind this is that this should be plenty of stickers to get you started, or if this is all you want, like this honestly could work in a planner and you have basically the necessities. But Kristen likes to give us the option to have more stickers because we all have different planning styles. And so then you have the option of like buying these two together, which this would make a full kit. And then you have the option of buying like check boxes, regular functional boxes. They released a huge deco collection, and so you can buy all of these that correspond with the different holidays in the collection. And I believe they're like $55. And so that is an option. And then of course you can get more washi if you want. Of course, it's all more money, so it's just what you're willing to spend and what you need for your planning needs, I guess you could say. And honestly, as I have been looking at like what I have, I think I'm going to downgrade a little bit for 2024. I have the collection already, and I did buy some extra stuff when the collection actually launched to the public. But I think, especially with having a new planner next year, a new layout, I'm going horizontal, and I've been vertical for quite some time now. I think I'm going to minimize how many stickers I use, because even with my vertical, I don't use all of these. And I want to be a little bit more like aware. That's a good word to use. Aware of what I am doing and purchasing and using. And so there's just that. That's a lot of white out, but I don't like that it's here, so we're covering it up as much as we can. And it will probably look gross now, but I'm planning on using some stickers and stuff to cover things up. And I think for right now, maybe we'll do some birthday presents too. Right here. I'm going to leave it like this, and then as needed, I'll use more of these. And then I'm going to keep this deco washi to the side because I'm going to use it for the actual spread. So now I'm just going to quickly jot down some goals that I want to focus on this week. For personal, I am looking into Vlogmas. I've gotten some good feedback from you guys about Vlogmas and what that should look like. And I think what I'm going to do is I am not going to do a full like YouTube Vlogmas where I'm on here every day, because a lot of you guys said do what you want so you don't burn yourself out. And I really appreciate that you guys recognize that and see that and have voiced that. And so what I think I'm going to do on YouTube is I'm going to have my regular videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And then I'm going to add 2 more videos. One, I can't decide if I'm going to do it on Wednesday or Tuesday. And then the other one is going to be on Saturday. And that's going to be themed. So I know for sure I'm doing a goal setting series with like setting up my MakseLife Planner and just talking about goals in general. And then I thought about doing like a planner setup series and like talk about like the different steps of setting up your planner for the new year, talking about schedules and all of that fun stuff. And then I have some other things that I have planned, but I need to sit down and figure out my Vlogmas schedule and then film some things. For fun and recreation, I am gonna go off my bucket list that I've made for the year, and we're gonna make a fall treat this week. I don't know what that's gonna be, but I will find something. I know I have like a spiced cake mix in our pantry, so maybe we'll see what we can make with that, like some cookies or I don't know, something like that. And then for work and learning, I'm going to leave that one blank. Family and relationships, I am also going to leave that blank. Health and wellness is always a fun one. I say that sarcastically because I feel like this is the category I struggle with the most. Well, but I am going to just write down soda cleanse. My husband and I are going to be participating in this wellness challenge at the beginning of 2024, and I'll talk more about that later. But we want to do small things now to help our bodies be ready for that fitness challenge. And one of the things that I have identified as something that I struggle with the most when it comes to my physical health is I love soda. I drink a lot of Dr. Pepper. With being a teacher, like this is like my thinking is I have a rough day. I like to come home and drink a Dr. Pepper when I get home, or I'll bring one to work and drink it the second half of my work day to get me through. And I know I don't need it. And it's just made my body just feel really bloated and gross. And so my goal is to only drink soda 1 to 2 times a week right now. But I'm still going to make it a habit and see how many days I can go without drinking soda. But I'm going to write soda cleanse because that's what my focus is going to be for health and wellness. And then for spiritual, I have two things really. One's a to-do item and one is part of my goals. But I need to do my donation for my church. And then I have been asked to teach a lesson for the women of my church, which I think is funny because in my old neighborhood, the church that we went to, I had the responsibility or a calling to teach the women every month in my church, and I did not like it. I struggled really bad with that. I have recognized that I am more of a child adolescent teacher and not an adult teacher. It just stresses me out more to teach adults. And then when we moved, I didn't have that responsibility anymore. And then whoever the teacher is now, apparently they cannot teach on Sunday. And so I was asked by someone if I could cover for them. And this is how it started in my last church. I was asked to cover, and then like a couple months later, I was just the teacher. And so God obviously is trying to tell me something that I don't want to hear. That's how I'm looking at that. For financial, I am going to just write down budget. We need to go over our budget for the month. I'm also going to try a no spend month this month again, I think. And so I need to look at that. And then for physical environment and whatnot, I am just going to write clean office. Because as we are currently filming, my office needs some love. And I like that. I feel really good about those things. So moving on to the actual week. Let's pull out what we have. I need my stickers, these. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line these up normally. Or I kind of like it when they're kind of like positioned fun though. That's just my personality. But I'm trying to decide if I want the quotes at the top, like this washi at the top with it. But I also really like this like small balloon washi. I think I might do that instead. We will get these date headers on here really quickly, and then we will start planning my daughter's birthday week. I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about motherhood and my daughter. She is my only child currently. We will talk about that in a minute. Full disclosure, this is not like some weird pregnancy announcement video where at the end I'm like, by the way, I'm pregnant. I just mean like she's my only child, but I do want to address some things about that just because I'm kind of passionate about women's health and my health especially, and I feel like there is a only child stigma that I kind of just want to talk about in a friendly manner. But anyways, so here is this, and I thought I would just kick it off by talking about my journey to becoming a mom. My husband and I decided that we wanted to start having kids. It was like in 2018. Yeah, it was. It was at the end of 2018. And like nothing was working. I was currently on the birth control shot thing. I don't know what it's really called, but it's the shot. And so I was off that. And my doctor said that it will take a minute for that to like fully get out of my system. And so I was like, cool. let's do this type thing. And so I got off the shot, and like we had really no luck, and it was getting frustrating. And I honestly like had like, it wasn't a false pregnancy, but it was like the summer of 2019, and I had like a lot of like early pregnancy symptoms, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. And we were in Disneyland at the time when I was like having all these symptoms. My husband doesn't know any of this because I like didn't want to tell him before I knew for sure. That's why I wasn't just trying to keep secrets from him. But and so when we got back from Disneyland, I was like very certain that I was pregnant. And so I took a test, and the test came back negative, and I was heartbroken, very much so, just because we were very ready to have a family, and that just did not feel like it was going to happen. And so finally, it's like around September, so this was in August, so September, early October, I called to see if I could make an appointment with a doctor, because I had all these weird symptoms. My periods were not regular, which they never were regular to begin with, but I did not know that like that was like a red flag, because my mom never said anything about that. And so I was just like, well, this is just my body. And so I go to the doctor, and they're doing all of these tests, and they have to do an ultrasound and whatnot, and do a lot of blood work. And they said, we'll call you back, but it sounds like you either have endometriosis or PCOS. And I had no idea what either of those things were, and so I was like, okay. And they did the tests, I waited, and then I got a phone call. And it kind of sucks, because this phone call was actually right before like a job interview that I had, and so I bombed the job interview because I was filled with emotion. But I got a phone call back from my doctor, and she said that my test results came back that I have PCOS, and that having a baby is going to be extremely difficult. And that's all she said, and then she hung up the phone, and I was like, what the heck is happening? And so I go to the doctor again, because they wanted to see me and talk about options for myself and everything. And the doctor that I was currently seeing was super negative, and just made it feel like having a baby was like impossible for someone with my condition. And that's how I felt, was impossible, really. And so I decided to actually switch doctors, and it's the doctor that I currently am working with, or have been working with. And she was a lot more positive. She was honest about things and let me know kind of like how things work in the situation. And we started pumping my body with all of the hormones, because I had too high of testosterone levels that I was not ovulating at all. And so, and that made a lot of sense considering everything. And so I was on, I can't remember the first thing I was on, but I was on Clomid. I do remember that, and that was the worst. But after a lot of prayer and science, I obviously was able to get pregnant. It was in March that I found out. And what was going on is that the only way I found out really is that my doctor, she wanted me to take an ovulation test and a pregnancy test every month at the beginning of the month. And I hated it because every month it was like a slap in the face telling me that I was not pregnant. But then I would do it anyways because I'm a good patient, and I wanted to make sure that this was working. And so in March, I did it, and my ovulation score was really high, which I thought was weird. And then I took the pregnancy test, and it had the 2 pink lines, and I did not believe it for 1 minute. I was in complete denial. And so I took another one, and once again, I got pink lines, and I was still in denial. And so I decided that the next day, so this was on a Sunday, so on Monday, after my husband went to work, because I had the week off for our spring break in college, and then I took the week off of work, I decided that I was going to drive down to the store and buy a digital test, because I just had like the cheap paper ones, and I like took probably like 10 tests total and confirmed that I was in fact pregnant, which freaked me out. And so I called my doctor and let them know that I needed to set up a prenatal appointment. And then I told my husband, and the way I told him was that I set up this like cheesy game, and the last thing was like to write a letter to each other. And so he wrote me his letter, and I had him read it to me first. And then my letter was, I love you so much. By the way, you're going to be a dad, or something like that. I can't fully remember. But he read it, and he had to read it like multiple times, because he was like, wait, what? And it was super cute. And then that started my pregnancy journey, which was crazy. I actually enjoyed being pregnant. I was super sick my first trimester, but then after that, like, I felt great. Second trimester, I had the most energy I've had my whole entire life. And then the third trimester was just miserable because I was so huge. And so there's that. And then my daughter, she was due on the 6th, but she came the 7th. I had to be induced. So anyway, sorry, she came in here and needed something, but she was due on the 6th, which I'm pretty sure I shared this last week, that would like complete the weird 2-4-6-8 birthday thing that goes on in my family, where my husband's born on the 2nd, my grandma's born on the 4th, and then my uncle was born on the 8th. So we just needed a 6, and we're currently using a public local celebrity for our 6. And so my grandma was so excited that she was born on, or due on the 6th, and she didn't come till the 7th. So what happened is that I went to my last prenatal appointment, and I believe that was like November 3rd or 4th. I don't remember. And she said that your baby is super snug in there, and so we are going to schedule inducing you. She told me she didn't want me to go longer than needed, as long as I'm full term. She just wanted to get the baby out. And so I was like, okay. So she said on the 5th, so they were going to induce me on my due date. On the 5th, the hospital will call you and give you all the information. Well, the hospital never called me, and I was waiting around all day, which I do not recommend because I was super stressed out all day. And so I called them. I was like getting super anxious. I'm like, well, what if they forgot? What if something like is going on that I need to know about? And so I called them, and they said that they're super full at the moment, and that the lady that normally schedules these types of things has gone for the day and that they would call me in the morning. And so I was like, okay, sounds good. And I waited and waited all morning, and they finally called and said that they could have me come in at like 10 a.m. And so we were getting ready to go, and then at like 9:30, they're like, a lady just came in and is about to have a baby. So you're gonna have to wait until 1. And so I had to wait even longer, which I was kind of mad about, but I get it. And so at 1, we drove to the hospital and checked in. Oops, and I got induced. And my water broke. It was like around 5:30-ish. And I didn't fully dilate until like, it was like 10 or 11 o'clock. And then they're like, it's baby time. And so I was like, hey, this is it. My daughter is going to be born on the 6th, and my grandma's going to get her wish, and everything is going to be great. And I ended up pushing for 5 hours. She was not born on the 6th because she was stubborn. There were actually some complications with the birth, and I was on oxygen, and then they had to take me off oxygen because it was like adding distress to her, and it was super scary. I also, for those that don't know, I do have epilepsy, and so there was some points during that process where I honestly felt like I was gonna seize, and luckily I didn't, but I felt super sick. And finally it was like 3 in the morning, and they said that we either have to use a vacuum to suck her out because her head was stuck on my pelvic bone, or we're going to have to do an emergency C-section. What do you want to do? And we're like, well, let's try the vacuum first, and then if that doesn't work, then we will do an emergency C-section. And so that's what they did. They had to call in another doctor who is like specialized in vacuuming out babies. And he came in and he like reminded us, he's like, just so you know, we can only try this like 3 times, and then we're going to have to do an emergency C-section. And we're like, okay, just do it because it's getting really uncomfortable. And he did it, and she was born. She was born at 4:28 in the morning, and she was like 7 pounds. I don't remember how many ounces. And then she was super long. She was like 21 or 22 inches long. And I was just smitten. I was also super exhausted, and the only thing I could remember is that I really wanted a cheeseburger and fries, but since it was 4:30 in the morning, I did not get that. But yeah, and then I got all fixed up, and they got her all cleaned off, and we just cuddled for like the first little while. And I don't know, it's just such a crazy experience. Motherhood is a crazy experience altogether, and she has just been my everything. She's taught me so much in life. Motherhood is hard, and I feel like most days I'm just like the worst mom ever, but I just then get loves from her and feel like I must be doing something right because she still likes me. But yeah, and so it's been a good 3 years. I cannot believe she's already 3. I feel like time has just flown by, which makes me super sad, but it is what it is. I love watching her grow up though. And I've had a lot of people ask me when we're gonna have another one, and it's kind of a sensitive topic because first off, I struggled with infertility to get pregnant with our first daughter, our only daughter, and then I also have health complications as well that I need to look into, especially now, because I guess I forgot to mention this. It was in March of 2021. So my daughter was born November 7th of 2020. She was born during the pandemic, and that was also hard just because I had to go to all of our appointments by myself. My husband could not come, and we had to wear masks, and it was all crazy. But anyway, sorry. I ended up having a seizure in March of 2021, and that like threw everything back, and I had to get put back on medication, and it was super stressful because I had this newborn and I was sick, and bless my husband for being amazing and just like taking on basically everything in our lives at that time. But I had to be put on medication, which epilepsy medication and pregnancy do not mix very well. There's a high rate of being able to have your baby develop birth defects, which is super stressful. There's also higher risks of like complications for me during pregnancy or labor. And so there's just like a lot of things that my husband and I have to talk about and figure out. And so I guess what I just want to share with everyone is that you should not be bugging people about when they're going to have a baby or what their plan is, or let them know that their current child, if they have one, is going to be a great sibling and they just need to give that to them, because we know that our daughter would be an amazing big sister, and we know that most of these comments are coming out of kindness, and they just want to talk about things, but at the same time, it is no one else's business but ours. And so, and you don't know what people are going through. And so we know that she would be an amazing big sister. But I also feel like I need to be a little bit selfish and consider my own health, because I want to be the best mom for her and not risk anything for myself or for a baby or anything like that. And so I hope that makes sense, and that, I don't know, but that's just my current feelings on the subject. But here is what we have so far, and I love it. So I'm just gonna quickly talk about things. So we have work all week. I have student of the month on Monday that I have to go to because I had to nominate a student this month for that. And then I need to make a birthday cake for my daughter. She wants a dinosaur birthday cake, and she wanted me to make it this year. And so I am like Googling and researching how to make a birthday cake. Like, I know how to make one, but like what she wants with like the dinosaurs and everything is kind of crazy. And so wish me luck on that. I will post pictures and everything of how that all turns out. And then on Tuesday is her birthday. And so she'll go to school, we'll go to work, and then after work and whatnot, we will do a birthday dinner and then have grandparents come over for cake and ice cream and presents. And then the rest of the week's pretty normal. I mean, I have work, meetings, things to do. And then on Sunday, I get to teach that lesson that I was asked to teach. I do want to focus on some habits this month or this week. I want to read. I did hit my reading goal on Goodreads, and so I'm excited about that, but I still want to read at least 2 more books this year. And then I want to focus on drinking water, and then I'm going to write no soda. We will see how that goes. I have our meals for the week as well, and I think I'm all set. And like I said, there's a lot of stickers left over, and so I really feel like for next year, I don't need all these sheets of stickers. And so this is very eye-opening, and I'm grateful that I can see that because it's money that I can save. But anyways, you guys, let me know if you have anything fun planned for this week. And don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you are new here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.